I'm Greg, and this is Greg's Games. I've been working on a little project I call Scrap Pilot. I've been working on it about 3 or 4 months by now. But before we get into that, let's start with a little introduction. I'm a software engineer at a big ass corporate at the moment, and in my spare time I work on Scrap Pilot. Scrap Pilot's kind of a amalgamation of all my dream games and all the games I love. So let me introduce Scrap Pilot by showing you what games I dig. I've always liked roguelikes. I dig the difficulty of it. How you have to keep trying, it's real satisfying when you finally get the win. Shout out to Luftrises or action type games. These games are fucking sick. I love the way you splash. Yeah. I've always loved storytelling games, linear games. Yeah. They fucking do it for me. Yeah. 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 Who could forget hard as nails platformers like Super Meat Boy, Cuphead. Even Braid is freaking hard. That's an awesome game. I love the way it can combine the story as well. For example, like in Celeste. A game that's pretty close to my heart at the moment that I'm really enjoying is Hades. I mean, that combines everything I love. It's a roguelike, tells a great story. It's hard as fuck. Alright, that's enough intro. Let's delve into Scrap Pilot. I actually don't have any good footage of early days Scrap Pilot. It's all just footage from my phone, so sorry about this dog shit footage. It started off as a land the rocket type game, coming off the hype of the first SpaceX manned mission, and in the beginning it was a blast. I watched some practice tutorials, I was getting the movement going, and what was most exciting was just demoing this for friends and seeing them have fun, which was really a turning point for me. The problem was, after a while, the land the rocket game kinda got boring. I was losing the feeling of fun I had in the beginning. The game started to get way overcomplicated. There was all this weird math I was doing, and it was turning into a KSP clone, and it wasn't fun at all, and just way too complicated. I watched a great video by the dudes who made Rocket League.
Reducing complexity can help you achieve your goals. This is not just for physics systems and for vehicles, but really just everything about your game. If you don't like how it's going, you can just gut it and start from simple. We probably redid how the car interacts with the ball like 3 times.
So that's what I did. I fucking just deleted everything, started from simple. So I tried to expand on what was fun, which was enemies and flying about and killing stuff. I wanted to start with the controls that are super similar to Luftrises. So this is what I started with after the rocket game. I got excited about it and I thought, why not post this on Reddit and see how people respond to it, and that's what I did. It was fairly positive, not the best ever, 10 upvotes. Somebody gave me a compliment, and honestly it was pretty cool to just see somebody talking about it in the slightest. So I kept exploring a bit, playing around more, and I came onto this video.
Visual's first development took priority, and that was something that the makers of Ooblets said as well. They tried to make GIFs as soon as possible so they can market it.
Ultimately, I want someday for a lot of players to be able to play this game and have fun playing it. And so I started trying to get marketing the ball rolling early. So I worked more on art direction. I went for kind of poppy colors like blue, like very bright blues, very bright reds, whereas before it was very muted and you could barely even see the ship. I've always loved cowboy motherfucking bebop. Spike flying around in the swordfish. I've always loved that with the jazz and the sick style of anime. So I was hugely inspired by the swordfish too. I tried my hand at Blender, did a little 3D modeling, and as you can tell, this really is very like the Swordfish 2. It's probably not what's going to be in the final game, but at least for now, starting with the art direction, defining the style. It's an awesome start and it just looks so badass. After taking the advice about art direction and going with styles that I really love, like anime and Cowboy Bebop, it got me some good traction on Reddit, and I think a great start to the marketing journey of this game. From there I went back to gameplay, movement, enemies, how is this going to play, what type of game is this going to be.
We needed fast, responsive vehicles. We weren't going for a realistic physics simulation, that players felt like they had control over the car and kind of a say-so in how the car was interacting with the ball.
I liked the fast, action-paced flying of Loftrises and was really inspired to kind of use that as a starting place. So one of the things that Loftrises does is when you turn while you boost, you turn slower, but when you turn without boosting, you turn faster. And that makes for a cool combination of boosting and stopping boosting, and I think with controller support it can really take it to the next level, so that if you only boost a little bit you could still turn quite a bit faster. I've also been thinking a lot about what kind of game is this, which direction should it take in terms of like, is it just an arcade game like Luftrises, is it a story game? Originally I wanted it to be levels, so you would complete one level and go to the next one, kind of like a platformer. In this footage you see kind of dodging the walls. This was inspired by Celeste's game design, but after a while the dodging of the walls didn't really like the way it was going, and designing those kinds of levels wasn't fun to me. So the direction I'm going now is the direction of my taste, I suppose. So I love roguelikes. So after playing Hades, I like the fact that you have all these chambers and you can kind of escape. So the idea right now is that there's 4 phases. You start in the caves, you go into the ocean, then you're in the sky, then you're in space, and you can unlock different powers along the way, different weapons. You can turn faster when you're boosting, or you have hit scan weapons as opposed to projectile weapons. You could have special powers. There's a lot on the table, and there's also a lot of work to do art direction wise, but I think this is an awesome start, and if you want to follow this kind of journey that I'm on with this game, smash that subscribe button. Smash that shit! But seriously, if you'd like to see the progress of this game, tune in. I'm also going to do some tutorials, maybe some even freaking game reviews, who knows. I'm most likely posting fortnightly. I have a full-time job, so it's hard to squeeze game dev and making YouTube videos in, but I'm gonna try. Smash it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Means a lot. Take it easy and see you next time. Space Cowboy.